Hi Crypto Kings and Queens, welcome to my channel. My name is Natalie. We're starting off on this episode. We're going through Bitcoinsensus.com. It's a great website that we're always having updates about cryptocurrencies. Today, I'm going to go through this Ethereum key support level that we did have around 4,469. This was a day ago, so a lot of things have happened. Right now, we are up here on the market, but this is why it's really good using Bitcoinsensus.com because we can always go into this and look at what happened. We can practice on these charts, on our own charts, trying to think about what was actually going on and what can happen in the future. This is what I'm going to show you on the charts. And for the market to come back down to this level, we can also do that even if we're having huge momentum right now, because on the higher time frames, we're actually having the Fibonacci from the lowest point at 4,366 to the highest point at 4,562. And this is the retracement tool that we're using. So we're having the higher high. Market could come back down to this previous key level that we did have around 4,469, and that is also where the 50% is on the Fibonacci that I just took. This is amazing, guys. Please watch this video and I'll show you exactly what I think can happen with Ethereum. I'll also go through with you what's happening on Bitcoin right now. Just a recap of what I did talk about in yesterday's video. We came up to this resistance. We had a small pullback, but it looks like we're going up again. I'm gonna walk through with you exactly what I see on these charts. Remember, guys, I'm no financial advisor. You need to look up everything yourself first, but please continue watching this video and I'll show you exactly what I see this Sunday on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're starting off with coming to Bitcoinsensus.com. This is our website that we're having. We're always having daily updates on cryptocurrencies. You have a lot of other things on this website that is very good. You have Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to trade Bitcoin, beginner's guide, how to crypto margin trading. We have so many good things on this website. And just scrolling down, we have multiples, recent news about Shiba. We do have price predictions on different type of cryptocurrencies, most of all Bitcoin and Ethereum. Going back in time, you can just read about all of these things and then just combine it what actually happened to try to learn something from these charts. It's very good, but the one I want to focus on right now is the one that we did have one day ago. Just clicking on this chart right here, and we can see that we're starting to explain exactly what could happen. And we did have a key level on the 15 minutes around 4,469. And as always, I'm going to show you how it looks on the charts. We did break 4,469 key level on the 15-minute chart. And just as we're talking about here, that this key level is on the 15 minutes time frame is very important to the current rally that we're witnessing on Ethereum price. As far as the price of the altcoin continues to trade above this horizontal support, there is a very high probability for us to see price higher in the coming days. And this is actually what we're seeing right now. And I did take a Fibonacci, and we can see that market can come back down to 4,469 one more time before we are creating new highs. But definitely looking at these charts is very good, guys. Go inside, read about this, and you'll learn so much by just reading and going back in time, looking at the charts on your own charts and just practice. If you also want to trade on Bybit, this is a great exchange that we're having right now, and we have a 3,500 bonus. You can trade up to 100 in leverage. Definitely not something that I do recommend as long as you're a professional trader and you knew what to do. And if you want to be able to have this $3,500 in bonus that we're having on Bybit, you can go into the description down below on this video. You'll see that you have the link down here. If you want to trade on PrimeXbt, it's a very good margin exchange for day trading. You can also receive up to 50% in bonus added to your deposit by using the promo code Bitcoinsensus15. So looking at Ethereum right now, we do have this horizontal line that we did talk about around 4,469, and we did break it. This was yesterday. So a lot of things that happened. We also broke this key level right here at 4,500, where we have been a lot of times before. We actually almost retested it, and then we saw continuation to the upside. But if we are taking a Fibonacci right now, and this is what I did talk about, so Fibonacci is where the market can retrace back down to for then create, in this case, because we are in an uptrend, we need the market to create a higher low. And when we're taking the Fibonacci from 4,364 to the highest point at 4,578, can you see how the 50% just combined with this key level that we did have on 4,469. So for the market to come back down to this level again and create the lower high, we can also look at this previous resistance that we did have around 4,429, and that is also just underneath 61%. So market can come back down to these areas, and then we see market actually finding the power to break to the upside again. We did have the market, and I was talking about this in yesterday's video, and at that point we were around here. So we just was about to break this resistance, that previous support, almost also a previous resistance. So I remember that we were just about to break it, and we did actually do that. We did break this previous lower high, created a pullback, market comes back up. So what we're waiting for right now, because we're at the higher high, we did break this downtrend when we broke this level. So we could come back down to that level. We can break it. Remember, guys, market is never perfect. It's never the way we want it really to be, just sometimes. But we can come back down to these levels, and then you see market continuing to the upside one more time. Remember, guys, we did have the fake out right here if we're going to the higher time frames. So we did have the support. We did have this support at 4,469. Market broke it. You had a fake out. Market comes back inside of it again. So for it to come back down and retest where we did have the fake out is high probability, and that is what we're looking for, or what I am looking for right now. If we're going to Bitcoin, also something, just a recap on what I did talk about yesterday's video. So I did have this box right here, and I told you guys if we're coming up to this level, we could definitely come back down a little bit, and that is exactly what have happened. So the target where I can see market coming back down to again is either 60,770, or we're taking a Fibonacci right now from the lowest point from 60,423 to the highest point 62,234, and we're having the pullback against 61,088, or on the 50% 61,340. But we can also come back down to this resistance, this trend line, the support trend line that I'm having, as long as we're not breaking this low at 60,423. I still see the market can break this triangle that we're having on the higher time frames also. We can just take away some stuff because it's very many things on the charts right now. So we do have on the higher time frames on the 4-hour chart, I do have this support trend line. The market can come back down to. I also have this resistance trend line. So if we're starting to break, obviously the market will not just break it right away. So we have different levels that we need to break. You can see we came back to this previous lower high. We tried to break it, didn't have the power to do it. So we just might come back down, create a higher low, never breaking this lower low. And then you see the market having the power to break to the upside one more time. So just as yesterday, we do have this waiting game right now. We have to wait and see, or I'm waiting to see if we're breaking to the downside or to the upside. But it definitely looks like we're going up again. Looking how the weekly is right now, we do have a bullish doji right here. We can also come back down to, if we're just looking at this trend line, we can just drag it up a little bit more. If we see the market actually breaking to the downside, the first target that I'm having to see the market coming back down to is obviously on the Fibonacci that we're having on the higher time frames, and that is 54,400 or 51,600. We can come back down to that level one more time before we are continuing to the upside. If we're looking at this, we do have another trend line on the weekly chart where we can come back down to. So we did have the first push, we have the second touch right here, and it's always on the third touch that we're actually buying from or selling from the trend line. If we're looking at the daily, we can just adjust it a little bit because we don't want to have candles getting cut when we're having the trend line. So market could actually come back down to these levels, touch the trend line one more time, then you see market comes back up. So we always have to try to look at the higher time frames, just zooming out and see what's happening right now. We're actually just in a box, and we have to break this box either to the downside for then create the volume to the upside, or just break the high of this box. We're just going sideways, to be honest. And when we're just scrolling in and looking at the lower time frames, you get so stuck on what's actually happening here. But when we're zooming out, it actually makes sense for the market to come back down. And if we're seeing, we can just copy and paste this previous downtrend that we did, the pullback that we did have. So if we're taking it from this high right here, something like that, we could actually come back down to 54,000 if we're having the same distance between these pullbacks. It can just be a little bit more. It can just come back down. You know, you also have to see where we're having the pullback, looking something like this. We can start to continue back down to this lower Fibonacci that we're having. There's a lot of things that can happen, but just looking at how the weekly is closing, it definitely will close as a doji. I don't think so many things will happen during the day. We're looking at this daily trend, so if we're respecting it, we can come back down to 51 or 54,000. If we're breaking it, well, then we're just creating new all-time highs. Thank you so much for watching this video together with me. I'm so happy that I'm having so many new followers. Welcome to my channel. I'm super excited about all of these things, and I'm gonna have a live stream on 4 hours later today, so I hope to see you there. Otherwise, trade with risk management. Have a good day. We'll see each other later, and bye bye.